A very warm welcome to the GCSP, and it is a pleasure to welcoming you to the launch of the International Geneva Peacebuilding Guide and our conference entitled International Geneva, Taking Stock of Peacebuilding Capacity. It is very exciting to see here such a large number of distinguished guests from all different parts of our professional life, United Nations, Geneva-based organizations, foundations, international organizations, civil society, academia. I'm also pleased to have friends here from Bern and actually even from far away from the United States. My welcome goes also on behalf of the partners of this project, the Quaker United Nations Office, the Program for Strategic and International Security Studies of the Graduate Institute of International Studies, and the Geneva Center for the Democratic Control of Armed Forces. I'm also very pleased to note that this event has been sponsored by the Swiss government, and I'm very pleased afterwards to pass the floor to Ambassador Barrault. And also, support is greatly appreciated by the Geneva International Academic Network, also known here as WIG. The conference will offer an opportunity to receive firsthand, and I know my dear colleagues and the entire team have been working very late last night to make sure that this will indeed be possible to present you with the findings of a mapping project which is taking stock of actually what International Geneva has in the very broad field of peace building. As we all know, peace building itself is still a quite opaque notion and includes many different activities ranging from assistance in war termination, conflict termination, all the way to humanitarian action, all the way to election assistance, and the support to find a way to sustainable development, and of course not necessarily in this clean, clear-cut sequence. Also, exactly a year ago here in Geneva, it was Carl Bildt who actually made a very strong point that peace building actually is state building, with all the ramifications this has. And in view of the increased need to find a strategic coherence among the various actors and also strategic coordination, in late 2005, as we all know, the United Nations set up the Peacebuilding Commission in New York. And the Commission adopted as the first partners as Burundi and Sierra Leone. After more than a year, we have now realized that not all expectations have been met. At the same time, it also has become clear that no alternative exists to the important work of the Peacebuilding Commission and the Support Office in New York. I'm actually also very glad that we have a representative and a speaker here from the Support Office of the Peacebuilding Commission. In this context, the GCSP, with the support of the Federal Department of Foreign Affairs, has launched a project, the United Nations Peacebuilding Commission and International Geneva, in very late 2005. In 2006, together with our partners, we have been running a number of platform activities, also a seminar in October 2006. And it really has become very clear that there's a lot of interest, but also, again, a need to more systematically explore, not just conceptually what peace building is and how it can contribute to post-conflict situations, but also actually the question is who is doing what and how can the various very rich assets in Geneva be made available. And so we started with this mapping exercise and are now very happy that today we'll be able to present you with this peace building guide. We were very pleased that actually up to today 69 organizations, Geneva-based organizations, have supported this project. They filled out a questionnaire and have actually given us, I think, a certain credibility in the findings which we will discuss this morning and also in a different setting this afternoon. That really gives me the opportunity to extend some thanks to all organizations who have taken time to work with us on this. You don't fill out this questionnaire in 5 minutes. A lot of work is behind it. And actually, I think one of the results, the byproducts of this exercise has been that organizations started to ask their questions, are we actually an organization involved in peace building? And I think this is certainly something which we will be able to discuss throughout this morning. Before passing the floor now to a welcome from our partner, the Swiss federal government, let me just conclude with a number of thanks I'd like to extend here, also to other organizations which have been involved in the making of this peace building guide, namely the United Nations Office of Geneva, UNIDIR. Both these UN organizations have provided us with support and guidance. But also I need to mention here the International Security Network of Zurich, of the Swiss Polytechnicum, which helped us on the digital side to make this project actually virtually alive and make it available for today. It is a process which goes on. We will have, after this meeting today, and on the grounds of these discussions, we will publish a brochure or a guide in addition to the web-based database. And then on the 6th of November, I look forward to a meeting which will be organized with our partners and UNOC. UNOC will launch a peace-building initiative, and we will have, again, presence from New York and also presence from the field, from partners in the field to move on, I think, this very important agenda together. For this morning, we will now, after our welcome, have a presentation by the project leader of the mapping, Rana, and his colleague Andreas Schütz. And then on the grounds of that, we'll have a panel discussion here with a representative of our partner organizations, David Atwood from the Quaker UN, Professor Keith Krause from the Graduate Institute, and I'm very pleased also that Mr. Francis Kiley is here, who joined us from Sierra Leone, from the President's office, to basically bring in the perspective of a partner of the utility of such kind of exercise. And we will conclude this morning with presentations and discussions with Mr. Dominic Barch from the support office in New York, and Dr. Patricia Lewis, the director of UNIDIR, who is a very close friend of our center. With this, again, a warm welcome, and I'd like now to pass the floor to my colleague, Ambassador Powell.